So it looks like we're getting 2 new artifact sets in Genshin Luna 7. We've got some new info about those sets, so in this video I'll just be reviewing them, explain what do they give you, which characters they work on the best, and finally, should you go and farm them, or are they not worth it for right now. Before we continue that though, if you're trying to get Genesis Crystals in Genshin Impact, the best way to get them is going to be throughout Topuplive. Topuplive offers top-ups for many games, including Genshin Impacts, up to 30% cheaper than official stores. When you want to buy, you'd want to click my link in the description for the best deals. Click the offer you'd want to buy, then apply my code to get a discounted price. For Mihoyo games like Genshin, Honkai, and Zenless Zero, you'd want to use code CAM for 20% off of your purchase. And for other games on the website, you can use code Camilo for a 12% discount. And as you can see, for the $100 offer, the price went down to $80, saving you $20 on your purchase. But yeah, then you just need to fill in your user ID and region, click buy, pay, and the Genesis Crystals will shortly be on your account. Topuplive also uses PCI security, which means it's 100% safe. Use the link in the description or the pinned comment to find those great deals at Topuplive. Alright, so as I said, we have 2 new sets in Genshin Luna 7. The first set is going to be more of a Supercoduct set. It's also not fully revealed. We rarely see that, where they release something and it's straight up just not full yet. But we're going to see this with this set. So the 2-piece is just going to give you 18% attack. It's just a standard attack 2-piece. And then the 4-piece is going to increase your Superconduct damage by 40%, which is pretty decent, I guess, but Superconduct damage is not even that big in the game right now, so it doesn't even matter that much. And then the second thing is that when a character attacks an opponent affected by Superconduct, the resulting damage instance's crit rate is going to be increased by 20%. So when an enemy is affected by Superconduct, their physical resistance is going to be reduced in the first place, and then when you attack them, whatever your attack was, its crit rate is going to be increased by 20%. And then we have this set has an ability that has yet to be revealed. So they straight up tell you it's not complete yet. We're probably going to see it throughout theyre, maybe in like 1 or 2 patches. But for right now, all this set gives you is basically just 18% attack, 40% Superconduct damage increase, which doesn't really matter that much, and then a 20% crit rate increase. Honestly, looking at it right now, there really aren't many characters who can potentially use this set. For current characters, I think Eula and Fremine are probably the only users possible for this set, but it also directly competes with the Pale Flame for those characters. I think they're probably going to be around the same level, probably. Maybe when this set is fully revealed, it can be a little better if they can take full use of what it offers, but for right now, I think the Pale Flame might be a little better, because the Pale Flame is just going to give you like what, 36% attack and then 25% physical damage increase. And this set, as I explained, is just going to give you 18% attack and 20% crit rate, basically, with a 40% damage increase to Superconduct, which doesn't really matter as much right now. So it depends on your builds, obviously, and stuff like that, but in general, I think the Pale Flame is probably going to have an edge for current characters, at least, with like current teams and the current stats of this set. But this set can definitely be usable on Fremine and Eula. But it's obviously more directed towards like theyre characters in the future. We have Lohan, who's coming out soon. He's mainly just going to be a cryo on fielder, so he's not really directly meant to be used with this set, I think. But with more like leaks around the hyperconducts and stuff like that, I think we're probably seeing a better version of Superconducts at some point in the game, and this set can possibly be pretty good on him. We also have Sandrone coming up. He's definitely going to have something to do with like theyre in general, cryo, Superconduct. So this set is probably going to be pretty good on him, but we don't have much info, so we cannot say for sure. But yeah, honestly, for this set, there's not really much to talk about. The full set stats are not even out yet, but I could guess that it will probably be the best in slot for potentially some characters in the game right now, and for sure it's going to be the best in slot for all of like the upcoming Superconduct's main DPSs and users, potentially even sub DPSs in the future. Now moving on to the much clearer set, which is going to be the hexerei set. This set is going to be just directed towards hexerei characters as like a support set, basically. So the 2-piece is just going to give you 20% energy recharge, just a standard energy recharge 2-piece. And then for the 4-piece, if the equipping character has completed Witch's homework, so right off the bat, you just need your character to be a hexerei for it to even work. The whole 4-piece buff is locked behind your character being hexerei, so it's not going to work at all outside of hexerei characters. But yeah, when you complete your Witch's homework, so when your character is just hexerei, basically, after they use an elemental skill, they gain a light guidance buff for 20 seconds, and then all nearby party members are going to gain a 20% elemental damage bonus corresponding to the equipping character's elemental type. So let's say you have like Mona, for example, and if you're using this set on Mona, so you're playing her in, let's say, a Milani team, let's say you have Milani, Shalonen, Mona, and let's say like Xiangling. Mona here is going to be the only hexerei in this team, so if you're using this set on her, when Mona uses her elemental skill, she's going to give 20% hydro damage bonus to all of your party, because Mona Mona is Hydro, all of your party is going to gain 20% Hydro damage bonus for 20 seconds just by Mona using her elemental skill. And she can even do that when she's off field. And it also cannot stack, so if you have another hexerei, for example, another Hydro, you're only going to gain 20% and not 40%. Now, when you have hexerei secret right, that means you have at least 2 hexereis in your team. This bonus is simply just going to be upgraded, so instead of just giving 20% elemental damage bonus to all of your party, now all of your party members are going to gain 40% elemental damage bonus, corresponding to both the equipping character's elements and the current active party member's elemental type. So let's say, for example, you replace Xiangling with theyre, another hexerei. Now this set can be fully activated on Mona. And in that case, this set is going to give 40% Hydro damage bonus to all of your party members because Mona is Hydro, so she's the character using this set. And then it's going to give 40% elemental damage bonus of whatever character is on field to all of your party members. But if the elements are the same, it's not going to stack. So if Milani is on the field, unfortunately, you're only going to get 40% because Mona and Milani are going to be the same element. So you only get one, which is 40% Hydro damage bonus to all of your party members, including Xiangling and theyre. But if you have, let's say, theyre on the field, then in that case, your party members are going to have 40% Hydro damage bonus coming from Mona because she's the holder of this weapon. And then they also gain 40% Pyro damage bonus from theyre because he's the character on field. So all of your party is going to have 40% Hydro damage bonus and 40% Pyro damage bonus. And that can definitely be super good, especially in mixed teams where you have different sub DPSs and main DPSs with different elements. This set is going to be super valuable. The best users for this set are mainly just going to be hexerei supports. So probably the best one is going to be Nicole. It's definitely going to be her best in slot set, especially for most of her like top teams in general. This set is going to be perfect. So let's say, for example, you're playing her with Varka in a team where you have like Varka, Nicole, theyre, and someone like Prune. This is the perfect use case basically for this set because it's going to give your sub DPSs 40% pyro damage bonus from Nicole, which will also buff Varka's pyro damage and theyre's pyro damage and Nicole's own pyro damage. And then when Varka is on the field, which is going to be the case for most of your uptime, because he's Anemo, all of your team is also going to gain 40% Anemo damage bonus. So Varka is going to have 40% pyro damage bonus and 40% Anemo damage bonus. And then also is going to give 40% Anemo damage bonus to Prune, which is also going to help him. So literally everyone in this team is going to benefit from all the buffs from this set. That's probably the perfect use case for now for this set, but it can still be used on many other characters and many other teams. But yeah, the main users are just going to be supports from the hexerei. So you have Mona, for example, as I mentioned before, Sucrose, theyre, if you're playing them as like an off-field support. I'm not sure if it's going to be more valuable than his other sets, but it's definitely going to be usable. Also, the 20% energy is going to be pretty valuable because most characters who are going to use this set are going to be supports. So yeah, this set is going to be super good and honestly a little broken in my opinion because you're basically having 80% elemental damage bonus for 2 elements possibly for all of your party members. And it's also pretty easy to trigger and use. You just need to do your elemental skill and have 2 hexereis in your team. Besides that, you don't really need to do anything. The duration is going to be pretty long and comfortable for most rotations. And also this set is going to be helping you with energy. So I think for most hexerei supports, this set is definitely going to be the best use. But yeah, now for the final question, should you farm this domain? Honestly, I think yes, just straight up. Even though we pretty much don't know what the other set is going to do, I still think it's probably a safe bet to just farm it, honestly, especially if you have some hexerei supports in your like rotation and you're planning to get some hexereis like Nicole, for example, and stuff like that. Even if you have hexereis like Mona, Sucrose, this set is going to be decently usable on them. And for the other set, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the set that's going to be used in like almost all of the upcoming meta. So if you're planning to get any Sneslaya characters, it's probably not going to be a bad idea to farm it. So yeah, honestly, should you farm this domain? Why not? I think it's probably a good preparation to farm it right now. I think most of the upcoming future top teams in the game are probably going to require one of those sets. So it can be a bad investment to farm it right now. But yeah, that was the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video. Peace.